What is going on? You are watching and listening, of course, to TAGSPodcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 360, and I'm your host, Steve V, alongside the ravishing Kodi Maurice Doggette.
Ooh.
How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. I have a guest in from out of town. Kicked them out of our spare bedroom in the meantime while we're doing the show. And I'm ready to get into these hot topics today.
Okay, we've got a lot to cover on this transitional phase of the pandemic, bringing us closer to normalcy. This is according to Dr. Fauci, the leading expert on coronavirus, and he said we were on a transitional phase of the pandemic. Pandemic's not over, but transitional and closer to normalcy, and I'll take it. I will take it. Because I'm 50.
We need it. We need
more
of that. Yeah. So
happy about that. About last night, we did our Discord voice channel for our Patreon members. James, who's watching us right now, joined us, and thank you for joining us. How much fun did we have? Really just getting a little bit more intimate.
So much fun. I love talking to everybody and getting everybody's insight and hearing stories and just sharing and really connecting. So I really had a great time.
Sharing is caring, and it's a chance for us to get deeper, and we got deeper on it. And you guys can join us. Our next one is Tuesday, May 31st. You have time to join our Patreon community. And consider grabbing a tier over there, supporting Tags. Go to patreon.com/TAGSPodcast. Kodi is a life coach and was really giving some good insight on there.
Yeah, I'm still, I had a great session, coaching session with somebody this week. But I still have those slots open. If you guys are interested, go to my website, CodiDoggette.com, and set up those coaching calls so we can get you guys. You can get it firsthand. Get firsthand advice from the love doctor. That's what I'm calling myself now.
I love that. And you can do an introductory one too, correct?
Yeah, it's complimentary, the first one. So, and then we see if we're a good fit, and then we move from there, and we see if you want to hire me as your life coach. So if you're interested, just go to my website and hit me up.
I love it. Hello, guys. We are live. It's Wednesday night. Hi, Blake, who joined us last night on our deeper conversation. Good to see you over there. Well, we are up for a major award for Best Sex Podcast, and you're going to hear it until May 5th because I need you guys. I'm asking you guys. Forget about everything that I've asked from you. I need you guys to vote for us. I'm putting it in our little voting thing right now, but you can go to cybersocketawards.com. And there's a lot of awards. There's a lot of awards on there. And if you don't know all of them, there's best top, there's best male, the best bottom, there's all kinds. It's adult, as you can imagine, but if you don't know all, leave them blank and go all the way down and vote for us. We are Best Sex Podcast, up against some stiff competition, but we hope to do well in it. It's Talk About Gay Sex. Vote for us. You have till May 5th. So just till the end of next week, we really, really, if you listen to our show, I'm asking you, vote for us, because I'm also going to be going to LA in person. I would love to win this award. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm just happy to go to it. And like they say, I'm happy to be nominated. Wink, wink. No, I want to win.
And I know you're going to look fab. So
yes, already working the outfits, have a rack pulled and all, honey.
Gotta have the options, honey.
Oh, yeah. We are working it up. So please go to cybersocketawards.com and vote for us before May 5th. And we really appreciate it. Okay. I wanted to just read something off to you, Kodi, because People Magazine's current cover has Helen Mirren on People's cover, and they're labeling her people's most beautiful at age 76.
Love this.
Helen quickly responded to the award as she posed for it, but she said Helen has a problem with the word beautiful. Most of us, she says, are not beautiful, but we have other stuff which is just as powerful as beauty that I would like to see us celebrate those things. I love the word swagger. It means I have confidence. I'm presenting myself to the world. I'm enjoying myself. Don't you love that? We were talking a lot about confidence yesterday on our deeper conversation and how to have confidence, and just how it's very scary out there as gay men, as LGBTQI, to put ourselves out there when we're trying to find. And don't you love Helen Mirren? She's being touted as the most beautiful, but she said, I'll take it. However, to me, I prefer swagger.
Okay.
I like to think of myself as because Kodi, when you put yourself together and you come over here, you've got a nice swagger going on.
Thank you. First of all, I didn't know Helen Mirren even knew what swag was, so I'm just excited about that. I do not disagree with her. I do think that everybody is beautiful no matter what. You can find beauty in yourself and no matter what. And I think that's what she's trying to get at, is that there are different types of beauty and you have to accentuate your beautiful qualities. So I love that, and I love her. So I think she is beautiful.
And you know what, Kodi, finding your style too. Like in it, she's got a suit on. A lot of people think of women, when they think beautiful, they have to be in a gown and a dress. Yeah. And although we love that, and we love the Met Gala coming up next week here in New York, we will love to see all that. But sometimes the swagger for certain people is different. Like some people, like I love to wear a hat sometimes, and these glasses were picked specifically for me because I wanted to wear aviator glasses. And so all of that helps with how you feel and how you present yourself, and ultimately leads to your own confidence. And I just think great words of wisdom by the great Helen Mirren to live by.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, we were talking this is a hot topic for us because we keep talking about it. And somebody responded, I love it when you guys talk back to us about a hot topic. And we were talking about professions that are deal breakers, that you wouldn't want to date that person.
Okay.
So if you remember that topic, it was on episode 359. And Brian Maurice, I'll just say his first and second name, so we won't totally out him, but Brian Maurice.
Okay.
DM'd us, and I love his middle name.
Middle name. I don't know. Hold up. Wait a minute.
You could think of it as your brother from another mother.
It might also be me because.
Well, let me know if you said this. It says, "Oh my God, I love you guys as usual." The convo. However, yes, there are absolutely careers that make relationships difficult. For example, one might think dating a hot bartender will be fun. I've gone down this road so many. My friends used to know me as, Steve, he's always good to be hitting up a bartender. I was obsessed with bartenders for decades, I tell you.
Yeah.
And okay, so for example, one might think dating a hot bartender will be fun. Free drinks at the bar, right? But if you have a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 and they work every weekend from 9 to 4, spending time together will be challenging. And if going to your favorite bar with your boyfriend would be fun to you, again, hard to do because he'll be behind the bar ignoring you, picking up somebody else.
You no.
Also, jobs where income is unpredictable.
Yeah.
1 month you make a lot and the next month you make close to zero. Adds stress to the relationship. I'd also say any career where it's a lifestyle can be hard. Like I dated a drag queen once. Well, it didn't work because his life was fully engulfed in the local drag circuit, and taking him out of that to do something different was challenging. We ended up talking about drag queen drama more than anything else, not to mention glitter and shit all over my damn house. I mean, do you agree with any of these professions? To me, a bartender would not be a deal breaker for me at all.
I still kind of stick by what we were saying, that it doesn't matter. as long as the connection is there, I think a lot of things are surmountable, especially like if the person, because as you were mentioning what he said, I think if you have any type of traveling job, then that could definitely make the relationship a little bit harder. But if you have that connection and you're willing to put in the work, then you can make it happen, right?
I agree totally. But thanks for weighing in, Brian, on
Yeah.
that hot topic. This next story falls right in line with what we're talking about, practically in our lab. There's a man candy guy. He's from Leeds, out of the UK. He goes by Lad Jake, and he tells us he started an OnlyFans purely out of boredom at the start of the pandemic. And now this little hobby is his full-time job. He's
Oh
sexy too,
my.
I must say.
Oh, okay.
The quote, the best part is definitely getting to film with hot guys all over the world, Jake tells us. And yeah, it's a pretty good job perk, to be fair. Before starting OnlyFans, I was traveling abroad maximum twice a year. Now I'm in a different place every week, meeting guys all over.
See?
Though he clarifies, Spanish men are definitely my favorite.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. However, even dream jobs come with some downsides. And in this case, Jake says it's the negative reaction some people have. So speaking of what we were talking about, deal breakers of different jobs, quote, I think we've come a long way in terms of being pro sex work. However, I think it's still deemed a subpar profession to a lot of people. And a lot of the time I feel like I have to validate my profession, and it's kind of it's kind of, and I have to kind of argue that it's a real job.
Wow.
Well, I can hear what he's saying. I mean, first of all, he's super sexy, and I'm not mad at what he's doing. I don't know though. I don't think I would have a problem. I would never, because we were talking about this on our deeper conversation yesterday about different jobs, on how we feel. You know, you were saying singer, life coach, podcaster.
Yep.
Somebody else was saying they have a dog running walking business. But sometimes people, that I don't think you should ever feel shame for what you do at all, and you should just stand proud. I mean, what do you care what I do? It's long. Now, would I care if somebody was doing OnlyFans? Not from how that would make me feel. If they're making a living doing it, great. If they're having sex with all kinds of different guys and then don't want to come home to have sex with me because it's a part of their job, the same could be said with a porn star. Maybe I would have a problem with it. But if they're totally into me and this is just kind of what they do, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Would you?
I don't know if I could date an OnlyFans creator, but it's just about the open relationship thing. I just am not the type of person that can have an open relationship. It's not something that I'm interested in.
Is it open though? Because it's work that they're doing
but they're having sex with somebody else. That to me is an open relationship.
It's their profession.
They're professionally having sex with somebody else. It's still an open relationship.
Is it?
It is. It really, really is. I don't know
that I agree with that, but
for me, I think it is. For
because
you,
I just want to stop you there on that,
different.
because open relationships, when we talk about it on the show, is somebody seeking out. They want to experience sex with somebody else. They're kind of stifled in the current situation. So if you and I were in a relationship and we'd been together for 5 weeks and I'm like, Kodi, we've done every position we can do, for crying out loud. Do you like how I said 5 weeks and not 5 years?
I mean, I caught that. I didn't want to call you out.
And I just think that, then I'm wanting to, Kodi, would you be open to opening this up? If you met me and I'm already doing my OnlyFans for work, then I'm seeking other guys to have sex with for content. You see it as an open relationship.
Any time that you are having sex with somebody else,
in your mind,
in my mind, that constitutes an open relationship. So yeah, I couldn't do it for that reason specifically, but like it wouldn't be. It's hard to dissect because it wouldn't be because of their profession, but it would be because of an aspect of their profession. Does that make sense?
Yes, that didn't work with you. And
Exactly. If they were an OnlyFans content creator and they just wanted to have sex with me on OnlyFans, that I would be perfectly fine with that. I don't care. But if they wanted to have sex with other people, I'm not.
that wouldn't happen because he's just saying he's traveling all around the world. And
Oh,
unless the two of you
I'm
are gonna go,
boring.
well, you're not boring, sweetie.
No, you said 5 weeks. You said after 5 weeks you'd be bored. So
I didn't say bored. I just
quoting what you said. What quoting
it was
you,
hypothetical, baby. I like how we're like in a relationship now and apologizing to backing it up. Yeah, I don't know that I would. Let's get to like the nitty gritty of what this conversation was really out, like deal breakers. And it sounds like he gets a lot of people that look down on what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps I don't know if they're down on it for the same reason you're looking at it,
Yeah,
or they are because they think that it's not a serious profession.
yeah. I think that's what it comes down to. They're judging him for his profession. And I said last night that this happens to a lot of people. They feel like they're imposters, basically. There's a reason that they named imposter syndrome. That's why it's a syndrome. They named a syndrome after being an imposter because it happens to so many different people. And I feel like I just want to normalize that. And that was my point last night. I want to say that this happens to so many people and that it doesn't really, no matter what your profession is, it's very easy to feel like you are faking it until you make it. That's a powerful and common idiom that people say. So it happens all the time. So I understand where he's coming from. Sometimes I feel like an imposter, and sometimes I think that a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, it's kind of two sides of the conversation where somebody feeling confident about what they do, which is sort of where we were directing it. And then the other side of it where people are, oh, no, I could never date that person because ...
Yeah,
Totally kind of two separate sides of the conversation.
exactly.
Both valid, both like, interesting at looking at it. He sounds like he's totally fine with his. There's a couple that I follow, they post some free content, and then on OnlyFans they're a couple. I've known one of them back in LA from years ago. He and his boyfriend started an OnlyFans page, and they give away free content, and then you can move up. Yeah, and then you can move up the tiers.
Can you pitch that to my boyfriend?
I can. And they took theirs on the road. They lived in LA. They lived in LA for so long and but they bring in a third party at times too.
Oh, no, ma'am.
So, and then they uprooted up to upstate Oregon.
Oh, wow. Who's going up there?
They've got a farm and a whole ranch, and they produce content up there. And sometimes it's them together. Sometimes they pull in a third, a fourth, a fifth. And the free content version of it is great. So I can only imagine that, it works my way.
Shoot it my way.
Hi, watching us live, El Rey. Good to see you. He says we all have a past. I'd like to see the guys for who they are, regardless of the career. I like that.
And Blake says, whose OnlyFans account is this, Steve?
I'll try and find it in a moment when I can. The guy's name, he goes by Greg McKeon.
Oh, yeah. Gerg is the word. That's who.
Greg is the word.
Yeah, yeah.
If you could look that up and put it in there, he has a free version of his account. While I get to our next topic, that would be really great, Kodi.
Look, at the end of the day, this is what I want to say. This is my final answer.
Final answer.
Sex work is work, and no matter what you do, if you enjoy your job and you make enough to support yourself, then you're a success, and you just need to be confident in that and find a way to be confident in that.
Got it. All right. Well, we've got to move on because we've got a ton of hot topics to get to. And we kind of spent a lot of time on this early stuff, but that's okay. I love the conversation. Let's keep it moving. Okay. This next story has been making the straight press, the gay press, when an airplane passenger was accused of a homophobic mid-flight attack. We've all heard of stories on planes recently. I'm a little scared to get on a plane myself, but a first-class passenger, which you don't normally hear about this, on a flight from Atlanta to Phoenix, child, called a flight attendant a fag and a queer before throwing a cup of ice at the attendant and then hitting him with a plain telephone, according to the Daily Beast. And when we're talking about the telephone, you're like, what? His cell phone? Or you know that phone when they go, attention, Delta flight passengers.
Oh, okay.
We will be coming through the cabin in the next few minutes to pick up any remaining trash. At this time, pull your seat backs up to its upright position. Fasten your seat belts because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
All right, now, can you show me where the X's are, honey? Because
over here
in the lavatory.
Yeah, back there and up front. Well, an FBI affidavit unsealed Monday and first reported by the outlet states that Christopher Alexander Morgan was arrested when Delta Airlines Flight 2908 landed at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Morgan had been charged with interfering with flight crew members and attendants, which the Beast notes. This is punishable, Kodi, up to 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Morgan, yeah, so he reclined his seat completely and would not put his seatbelt on, according to the affidavit. When two flight attendants asked Morgan to put his seat up before take off, he refused. And after the plane was en route, Morgan asked for and received an alcoholic drink. He requested a second one, but the flight attendant offered him a non-alcoholic one. This angered Morgan. Morgan called the flight attendant the F word and a queer and threw the glass of ice at him. When passengers so he continued to get mad, and when he ended up getting out of his seat and threw the telephone that hit one of the flight attendants on the chest. Well, nobody was having it. Authorities, the flight in the end, Morgan said, so the guy that's being charged told the authorities when they landed the plane in Phoenix that he is homophobic and that this is possibly the reason that it is possible he could have been intimidating to flight attendants. He told them that.
What?
He said that his homophobia may have caused his temper towards the flight attendants to escalate, and he admitted that he called the flight attendant a queer. So it's kind of a weird story to doing this horrific behavior on a flight, yelling out profanities, and then when being caught, not even denying it, but okay, fine. But his whole reason was because he thinks he is homophobic.
It's scary. Yeah.
What is going on with him that he thinks that that's going to help him or not?
Yeah, no, I think this is absolutely ridiculous. This man, he needs to be on every no-fly everything. When they're banning people just for their names, they need to not let this man go anywhere on a plane anymore ever again, because it's just ridiculous. Nobody deserves to be treated like that at their job. And him having a Naomi Campbell moment on the plane is no good. I can't understand it. And him trying to justify it by saying he's a homophobe, like he needs to do some work on that, because I found this study that if you're a homophobe, then there's a high likelihood that you have homosexual tendencies.
Tell us a little bit more.
So this study that they did, they separated the men into two groups, right? All the men that were homophobic and the men that said that they were not homophobic. And the men that said that they were homophobic, they showed all of the men gay porn, and all the men that said that they were homophobic got erections to the gay porn.
See, and it makes so much sense, because we were talking about this a little bit offline earlier, that all our straight allies, when you're around a straight ally or just a straight cool guy, that you're talking about your gay stuff, and they're like, yeah, whatever, like they could care. I mean, they almost could care less,
right?
And
I don't want that butt sex.
It's just, not even, or they don't even make a big deal about butt sex or anything. They're just
Yeah.
so cool, and they're so confident about their sexuality. And then those that are provoked and feel this need to just I think there's probably levels of it in between, that there's just pure hatred based on the way you grew up.
Yeah.
However, I do think there's something to this study that is true.
Me too. I cannot believe it. I can believe it, because I think that those people need to really do some work on themselves and really do some self-searching about where this is actually coming from. So,
And yes, I don't know. El Rey is asking the question: was this person from Atlanta? I know the flight was going Atlanta to Phoenix. Not sure on that.
Atlanta's a big hub. They do a lot of
Yeah, good
stuff.
point, Kodi. It's a huge hub, so they didn't mention that, but yeah, wondering, are you from Atlanta, by the way, El Rey? Because yeah, it could have been a layover. Who knows? But interesting though how he cited that I'm a homophobe, and that's why. Like, who calls themselves a homophobe? Unless he's thinking he's going to get out of it. I'm not sure. Kind of crazy.
He could be charged with a hate crime on top of everything, because attacking a flight attendant is a felony. If you attack a flight attendant, you are going to jail.
So then you layer upon the motive for it, which could have other years upon it, like you're saying, homophobia, hate crime, right?
Yeah.
You could be layering on more years behind bars, is what you're saying.
He was digging a deeper hole for himself. Yes, he was.
All I got to say is, dumbass. And thank God nobody got hurt in the process.
Yes,
and then he's being, well, in other hateful news and homophobic news, there's an anti-LGBTQ plus, according to the story by out.com, Russian propagandist launches I'm Not Gay reality show. So essentially there's this new Russian game show where they have, like a lot of these reality shows, they've got a slew of contestants, and the entire goal of it is to find out who the gay guy is out of all these. And they put all these contestants through, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes, hetero types of behaviors, and they try and weed out and figure out who is the gay guy out of it. It's so ridiculous in my mind that, yeah. Did you read this story at all?
I did. I read the story, and I'm still dumbfounded. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, who's playing this game? Number one,
Russia is, of course. Yeah, and who's going to want to be the one gay guy in this bunch? And what happens when you are? I mean, is it like, are you crucified, and is everyone watching you be massacred? I don't know.
This is absurd. I could not believe it when I read it, and I still can't believe it. I just wonder, is all of Russia one big homophobia study? Like, are they all getting erection to gay porn? I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah. I don't know. I would post, because you can watch the entire episode, first episode.
Did not click on
It's all in Russia. I don't want to click on it either. Since we got hacked, I'm like panicked about clicking on anything. And so, plus it's all in Russian anyway, so we wouldn't even understand it. I don't know. I'm not gonna, just to keep you up abreast though. Would you go to this next story, Kodi? Do you like a good drag brunch?
I love a drag brunch. Okay, so little secret, I'm going to a surprise drag brunch. My boyfriend's birthday is this weekend, and you're coming to the party on Saturday.
Okay, I'm not going to the drag brunch though, right?
You're not.
Okay, good.
Except for I will be in full geesh. Okay.
What do you mean?
That means I'll be in a wig and a dress and makeup, but I'm not going to be in all of that. That was a joke.
Okay. Wow. I would be here for it if you were.
You just have to tip me, motherfucker. Okay.
I'll bring a tip. Yes.
No, but on Sunday we are surprising him with a drag brunch. I hope he's not out there listening right now, because surprise.
I love it. Okay. Well, I hope you're not going to this one by Taco Bell, because Taco Bell has a brand new touring drag brunch, and It's a Taco Bell drag brunch is coming soon to a city near you, and bottoms, according to Out.com, everywhere have been found shaking. Maybe because they don't want to have the food. The popular fast food chain has announced a multi-city drag brunch event with the intent of celebrating drag culture and the LGBTQI plus community. The 5 scheduled Taco Bell drag brunch events will take place birthdays, weddings, graduations, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Denim Day? Look it up. Heck, finally inviting friends over for cocktails. There are a lot of spring occasions that you'll be celebrating. So why not celebrate with the gift of beer, wine, and spirits delivered in under 60 minutes with Drizzly? You're right, it's flawless logic. I've been using Drizzly now for the last couple of months. I love the convenience, and my favorite part is I put in my favorite wine or tequila, and Drizzly finds all the stores that carry them and compares prices. It's literally my go-to in a pinch. Well, right now, Drizzly is giving all new customers $5 off their first order with the code SPRING5. Just download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com and use promo code SPRING5, that's spring with the number 5, for $5 off your first order. At the brand's special expanded cantina, locations will be hosted by drag performer Quesadilla, and because I guess it reminds me of Quesadilla, local queens and kings that will transform any morning from mild to fire. So they've got dates in Las Vegas, Chicago, Nashville, New York City on June 12th, which I'm assuming I have a cantina down the street from me. I'm not proud of that, but I do have one in Fort Lauderdale. This initiative, which was created by Taco Bell's Live Mas Pride label, has also committed to donating an undisclosed grant to it. It Gets Better project.
Okay.
Would you go to this? They said there's going to be alcohol. You have to be 21 or older. They're going to have mimosas, and it's essentially you're ordering off of the breakfast menu. So breakfast menu, as well as the brand's new Cinnamon Delights coffee. Man. That's not brunch to me. So when I'm going to say a hard, fast no to this one, because when I like my drag, I like to go to a bar. I like knowing that I can go in, go out, grab a drink. If I'm over, I can leave. At drag brunch, you're like trapped there, and I don't want to be trapped at Taco Bell. First of all, you can eat that
a horror movie, trapped at Taco Bell.
Yeah, and can you imagine everybody getting their meal and it's like unwrapping the breakfast burrito and clank? It's so loud, and it just sounds horrible to me.
It does not sound fun.
Would you do this?
We should probably go.
Blake said I would totally go. I love it.
It is going to be down the street from your house, so we should totally go and just support and tip the girls, okay? That's the only reason.
Maybe we'll just go for fun. Yeah, just to see what this is all about. I hope it's
get a mimosa and always says eat before. I agree.
I make a great quiche, and I'll have turkey bacon, and I'll have homemade blueberry muffins at my brunch.
Yes, fabulous.
But we could go down there.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. You know, I've been to that Taco Bell before around the corner.
I bet you have. Blake says Quesadilla is hilarious, and she also sells Tupperware in LA. Oh, wow. Okay.
See, we got to go for K. Okay. We got to support Quesadilla.
Quesadilla. Get it? Wow. Okay. I mean, I guess there's some fans. I mean, hey, it's, I guess, a brilliant idea. So, but let's eat before and then let's walk over there. Let's go.
Have some mimosas right there with quesadilla.
Okay. All right. Well, this next story, I'm really kind of excited for this upcoming movie by Billy Eichner. And Billy Eichner, who we all know, has a brand new movie called Bros, a rom-com. And he keeps giving little tidbits on the movie. It's produced by Billy Eichner and Judd Apatow, produced also by a major studio. It's a romantic comedy, like I said. He quoted as saying, "I'm very proud to announce that Bros has been rated R for strong sexual content, language throughout, and some drug use." Eichner tweeted along with a bunch of smiling devil emojis. "See you in September."
Ooh.
I'm kind of excited about this because, we continue to see ourselves parlayed in various forms on digital platforms, and there's been no shortage of independent films at film festivals, rom-coms, of course, but they have a smaller audience. So Billy Eichner's now at an echelon that he can partner up with Judd Apatow and a major market studio, and I think, why not? I bet the film will do well. It's always tricky, though, when you get to that level. Like, is the movie going to do well? Jennifer Lopez is a prime example of somebody who's a superstar and had her last film, which was about Will You Marry Me? Marry Me.
Yeah.
And it flopped.
It
just flopped. But my sister saw it and said it was really good. And yeah, it's not that it was bad. Just because films sometimes flop doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that, I think hers probably got caught up in the pandemic, pandemic. Who knows why? Maybe it really wasn't that good. I haven't seen it to really give my review. My point is, and I do have a point, is that I think when you get to a certain echelon, the stakes are that much higher. So he has the ability now to reach a greater audience. And instead of dumbing it down like a Hallmark Christmas movie for the gays, which we all know they were tooting those recently. And it was like, oh, we should be so thankful that we're now on Hallmark and we get to have a phony ass gay Christmas movie. No. Billy Eichner's like, I'm going to make a film called Bros, and it's going to be sex, sex and the way we talk. And it's going to be produced by a major market, and it may flop, but it may not. I'm here for it. What's your word on it?
We're going to see it.
Okay, let's do it like a night of it. I'll make my quiche. I'll make my turkey bacon.
We're going to see quesadilla, and then we're going to Billy Eichner.
Yeah.
Because I love this, and I love anytime diversity in the gay community is shown in any form, fashion, and facet. Because you know what? Like you said, we had that Hallmark sanitized gay movie, and that was fine, and that was fabulous. There are gays out there that represented, but I need a movie for me that represents my down and dirty ass. So,
and your ass be dirty.
So I think that we need to see this movie, and we need to support Billy Eichner. And even though he blocked me on Tinder. He didn't respond.
Did he really?
He didn't respond to me on Tinder. I swiped right. He didn't swipe right. But it's okay.
Because I think he knew the bigger picture for your trajectory, which was you had somebody more important coming along your way. And that's why you're celebrating his birthday this weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's why. No, that's why.
Okay.
And you had something bigger. You had something in a smaller package coming your way.
You know what I can't wait for, though, is the new Fire Island movie on Hulu.
Oh, thank you. Yes. That looks good too. Hulu, right?
To see that. Yeah, it's coming on Hulu. Joel Kim Booster, Bowen Yang, Margaret Cho. I love her. And,
come on now.
And Nick Adams. I love the cast. Also hot. Also wonderful. So.
And while we're at it, in terms of what we're talking about and of really telling our current fresh stories, or maybe not diluting it with there has to be like this perfect message moment, but just maybe telling our stories, is the new Queer as Folk, which I saw the trailer and it looks like whoa,
really?
I want to smoke a blunt and watch it because it's going to be like happening. And did I just say blunt?
I think you did.
What is this, 1978? I don't know who I am. Like, anyways, I need Maybe I need to have a make Cosmos and watch it. The sad part on that one, though, it's on Peacock, and
you don't have Peacock. Come over to the house.
Oh well, then Can we watch? Can we watch?
We can watch "Marry Me" with Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
And then we can watch "Queer as Folk" all on Peacock. It's
awesome.
My mom, so.
And then we'll go to Hulu, and then we'll watch
Fire Island,
and then in September we'll go see Bros.
Perfect plan.
What are the people saying before we move on?
The people are saying yes, Margaret Cho, says Blake.
I think he said yes, Margaret Cho.
You're right. Sorry.
Don't get it twisted.
I was on Hallmark.
See, you were trying to be on Hallmark. I was going to say, we're trying to change the storyline to modern times.
Margaret Cho is in it. Yes. And El Ray says he's so here for it. And El Ray also says, Blunt Stevie, I know who you hanging out with.
I know. Though I heard it come out of my mouth, and I was like, "Oh Lord, what? Wrong era and everything else." Yeah. Anyway,
I still hear Blunt sometimes.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
It's okay.
Well, this new comedian. She's not new, actually. Oh, do you have her name? Actually, she's so new. I can't. Nikki Glaser. Yeah, she's got a new reality show on E! Entertainment that looks really funny. But she was sharing some dating tips and I wanted to know if any of these, Kodi, because on our deeper conversation yesterday, you've been our expert. You've been my expert on getting a date, how to go about. Not that I don't know what to talk about, but she sort of addresses this in 5 steps on what not to do. Let's go over what she shared and let's see if it works with our community here.
All right.
So number 1, she says, do not overshare. I totally agree with this first one. Don't overshare on a date. A lot of people often like to talk about their exes when they're on a first date. No. And I think that's probably one of the worst things you could do, unless, caveat to the conversation, unless, and this would still be a red flag, if you just if you just got out of a relationship like a month ago, it could be kind of relevant to bring that up. But then why are you on the date in the first place, right?
I mean, mention that you just got out of a relationship, but don't talk about your ex the entire time.
Yeah, that's one of my don't overshare with certain things, or maybe something so dramatic. Like maybe I would definitely share I broke my ankle in like a few months ago, because you might be wondering like, why is he walking so slow? It's like I walk slow like this because I broke my ankle. So that's not oversharing. That's just reality to what happened. Now, if you ask me how I did it, I don't want to share that. But I'm over talking about that. But her next thing that she says is be yourself. Now that could be translated to a lot of things, and she didn't go into a lot of details about that. But what does that mean to you? Be yourself.
So, first I want to address. She says don't overshare, but be yourself. And I want to know, what if yourself is an oversharer? Oh, you're just going to surprise them with that later on?
Then go back to number 1. Always go back to repeat back to number 1. And,
it's like a Brian McKnight song.
Just keep repeating back. Don't overshare. Yeah.
Okay, so what was the thing again? It was be yourself. So
there's no exit. So or there's no D, none of the above. Yeah.
Be yourself. I agree with be yourself. I don't necessarily agree with don't overshare. Yes, don't talk about your exes. That's a bad place to start off a relationship. Thinking about the past and how things went before, because there's always a new way for things to go. That's a tenet of life.
But here's where I agree with her, because we all know that oversharing, I think first dates should be a little bit on the lighter side. Now, that does kind of contradict what you're trying to say on her second thing is be yourself. I think you can be yourself. I think it could be literally, yes, I think, because if you overshare, first of all, it's going to come to a number 3 one.
Okay.
So they're all going to sort of like
hear it
but the thing is, I think when you're oversharing, you tend to talk too much and dominate the conversation, which doesn't allow for the other person to have a word in edgewise. So if I'm telling you about my family and how important my family is, but let's say theoretically, for the sake of this conversation, one of my brothers, I don't have a brother, but let's just say one of my brothers was a drug addict and just had this horrible thing and took our whole family down, and it was just really a mess, and everybody was affected by it. And I'm telling you on this date about my brother, that's TMI, too early, too soon, that you didn't need to know. It's an important part of my life right now, but I don't think you need to know this on date one. I think it should be unicorns, butterflies, and margaritas.
That's kind of misrepresenting yourself. Okay.
No, I don't think so. We have 5 minutes. It's speed dating, and that's all I have time to do.
Why do I totally talked about speed dating on Deeper?
And you want me to talk about my drug addict brother?
I will say we should probably amend number 1 to don't think your date is your therapist, because they are not.
Okay, life coach. I like that.
And I agree with be yourself.
Okay, got it.
Because you do not want to surprise somebody a month and a half in with somebody new.
Yeah, and I guess be yourself could also mean too, don't lie and overinflate and try and be funny when you're not really funny, and really intellectual and bringing up things like that you're really not normally. If you don't read a book. So don't be saying, don't try and come up with the last author that you think is going to like impress that date.
I always have a book in my little pocket
in your repertoire.
I used to back when I was dating, just in case they are literary. I would always have like a book that I love, or I don't feel like it's misrepresenting yourself. It's just another aspect.
I'm reading these current books right now that I don't know that they're the most intellectual. I'm trying to find it here, but it's this British author, and they're totally thrillers, and not that they're just salacious and fun. But my story would be, and I'm sticking to it, is my mom and I love these kind of books together, and we're currently doing our own book club. So she's currently ahead of it and finished it, and I'm like, Mom, we're supposed to be reading at the same time. I read the first one faster than she did, and we're totally off sync, but it's our thing, and we like it, and it's fun. So that would be amazing. All right, moving on, because we got to get to the rest of these. She says,
we could talk all day. But
have a covert group of friends, like a covert group of friends standing nearby, so just in case. So kind of looking over you. This one I don't know that I really agree with. So
definitely
she kind of said have a group of friends standing by to give the kind of the thumbs up or thumbs down or rescue you. Here's how I think we can interpret this one for our community is, since so many of us meet each other on the apps, just send your location to a close group of knit friends so that you don't get murdered.
Yes.
Is how I interpret that one.
Or have somebody call you a little bit after the date. And that way, if you want to escape the date, you can escape the date. So I have an emergency. I have to go. My roommate locked themselves out of the house.
I have to take this. I hope you don't really think this is an indicator of how I'll always have it. It's my agent. We are up for a major award. I just want to get this real quick.
Or
like something like that. Like something like that.
A text message. You checking text.
I just got a text from my agent. Peaceful. We are up for a major no, I don't think that's what they meant. But
El Ray says that there are apps that can actually call you.
Say what? El Ray, you better tell it and better list the apps. I love that idea. You know, I'm always in an acting moment, and I want this app. Well,
you want Best Actor just then, just so you know.
I will settle. You know, you can vote for us for Best Sex Podcast. You can go to cybersocketawards.com. You got to do it before May 5th. Please vote for us, and that's my spiel. All right. Well, we wait for El Ray to give us the apps that we want. We got 2 more that Nikki Glazer said. These are the things to do or not do on a date. For crying out loud, she says at number 4, ask questions. And she added an addendum to it. Make sure they're asking questions about you. This is probably the most important one that she says on her entire list, because how many times have I been on a date where the person is spewing their life story and never asked one thing about me? And I'm nominated for Best Sex Podcast, and you can vote for us at cybersocketawards.com by May 5th.
Can you imagine getting through a date?
Yeah, I'm a little obnoxious when it comes to our show, but truth be told, I am passionate about our show, and it is coming from that. But I'm probably totally obnoxious on a date. But go ahead. What are your thoughts on that?
I completely agree with Nikki on this one. Make sure that there is a give and take as far as the relationship is concerned. You just don't want to be with a taker. You just don't want to be with a giver either, because people need to be supported out there. And that's the basis of a healthy relationship, is a give and take. Yeah. And thank you for asking my opinion on this.
Well, I'm a good date on that.
You are a good date, darling.
I'm a really good listener, but I'm keenly aware when somebody is not asking or showing, whether asking or showing any, and I mean any sometimes, interest in what I'm doing about. And I'm like so perplexed that you couldn't think to ask anything about me. I know deal breaker when that person, because I know if it's like this on the first date, my God, you're never going to want to hear that we're nominated for a Cybersocket Award. And I
asked this a little while ago, but I don't know if you heard me, but can you imagine being on a date and them not even asking one question about you? That just sounds absurd to me.
Yeah, I think the last one that came to mind was the person asked me. I had literally just got back from Europe, and I went to places that weren't the obvious. I went to, where did we go? Scotland, and some really cool places in Scotland. And I was so excited, and I saw my favorite singer, Lisa Stansfield.
Oh my God, I love her.
In the UK, and it was this whole great thing. We met Lisa, and it was just this great thing. And I got back, and I'm on this date, and we're walking down the street. And he asked me, "Oh, what did you do?" I said, "I just got back from Europe," and I went and I'm starting. He's like, "Oh, I hate traveling," and it was almost like he poo-pooed it really quickly and then went on about his furniture job.
No,
and sort of like, "Oh, that's great," and didn't ask anything. I'm like, "But I met Lisa Stansfield, and we did this," and I was like, "What? It's my current profile picture on my Grindr that you chose," and it's like, "What are you?"
He's like, "I don't know who that is," and you're like, "I got a phone call."
It was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy, but yeah. Anyways, and the last thing that Nikki Glaser says that you should, and I know you don't agree with this one at all, is she says do not have intercourse on that first date. And I know that's kind of a crazy one. She's a straight woman talking, but bear with me for a second, because I kind of agree with her a little bit on this one.
Oh my goodness.
Hear me out, because I certainly go out and I love meeting guys and going home with them, and I think that's always great. But 9 times out of 10, have another cocktail, Steve, is when I do have somebody come over, it's just that, it's sex, and trying to get somebody to conversion to a date is really kind of hard sometimes when you've gone home with somebody, because I think you've cemented the fact that this was kind of this one night stand thing. The same can be true too, where I've gone on a date and then it's like, we're so quick to go to bed together, and you get that out of the way. I know us gays do that, but I think on my next date, I'm going to take Nikki's advice, and I'm just going to push it off, at least for the first date. And see if you still want to see me and I still want to see you. But the bigger question in the matter, then there's plenty of time to have sex. I'm going to say I agree with her, and I'm not gonna. It's so easy to have sex sometimes.
I do not necessarily agree or disagree with Nikki Glaser. I'm going to say have sex when it feels right. If you don't feel comfortable having sex on the first date, don't have sex on the first date. Don't listen to anybody else about when it's time for you to have sex, because it's your body and it's your choice. Okay?
Okay.
And
did you have sex on
I
your
had
first
sex
date?
on the first date.
You're sort of an anomaly though, Kodi, because
we met on Grindr.
You met on Grindr. I mean, I'm like applauding you, and I think it's really great. And I know people that got married after meeting in a sex club, and they're still married to this day. So it's not like any of these things aren't possible or not. I think you got to look at it individually too. Sometimes I agree with her because for me, it's easy to go out and take somebody home and have sex with them. And then I've had guys just like pick up and leave. And I'm like, wait, do we want to at least exchange phone numbers? And it's like, not really. And I want to change my trajectory, if you will. And sometimes you got to pivot, the big word of 2022. You got to pivot and you got to do something different for you. So I would say on that last one by Nikki Glaser, make that one work for you. So for me, it makes sense and I'm going to pivot for me. But I think for you, it obviously worked for you to have sex and do it all on the meetup. You met on Grindr and had sex on the first date and now you're living together.
I know. So a success story from having sex on the first date. So it can happen. So again, I say just listen to yourself and listen to your heart and have sex whenever you feel comfortable.
What are the people saying before we move on?
The people are saying, Blake has a really funny comment. He says, clearly the guy that you discussed Lisa Stansfield around with and on the date, he hadn't been around the world in ay. Hilarious.
I mean, and you know what? He had not. I had been around the world to see Lisa, and yes,
I can't find my baby.
And I love Lisa. Love,
such a great song. She's so amazing. And El Rey says labnol.org. He said you could just Google it or schedule a phone call. And he says not that he's used either one of them, and which I think might not be the truth.
I am wanting to schedule a phone call. Labno. Oh, I love that. I love a good soap opera moment, and that is such that. You know, I feel like my life is like a soap opera sometimes, and I want to schedule that. Next time you and I go out, I'm going to schedule this just for fun.
You're going to schedule a phone
At the
call.
party this Saturday, I'm going to schedule it just for fun, just to be like, oh,
and then you'll throw a drink in my face. I love it.
Excuse me. Yes, I cannot wait to do that. All right. Well, it's time for our favorite segment. And it's when this show comes out, it's Thursday. We like to call it Thirsty Thursday. And Straight Up Gay Porn has been doing this great thing where this week they chose 15 gay porn stars. And they asked the question, who took the best photo or video? For those of you watching live tonight, I put it in the comment section. You guys can tell us who you are. Our job is, because we are an audio podcast, is to descriptively describe out of these 15 gay porn stars why we think they took the thirstiest pick of the week. And Kodi, we'll start with you. Who took the best pick of the week?
So my vote this week goes to Ashton Summers. You know I love a good shower moment, and it's a video. And he's in the shower with the phone probably on the shower floor. It's angling upwards with his gorgeous cock just right in frame of the view. The water is sprinkling down. He's washing himself, and then he turns around and bam, all ass. And it's just amazing. And I love it. So,
oh my God, I'm watching it right now, and it's amazing. He's got a song playing in the background that I had to turn down, but it's 7 seconds of pure bliss, and he's gorgeous. Is the rest of him really good? I mean, yeah.
It's all
I'm gonna go with Juice Poppy this
week.
Is
okay, yeah. I saw him.
Juice Poppy has what looks like a cowboy hat on. He's black, but I am living for his chest. He's opening up his arms. You know when you open up your arms like this and it just opens up your chest? His chest is just expansive, but he's really lean and just looks luscious and glistening.
Like my chest?
No. And Close second, though,
Almost.
Kodi.
Okay, all right.
And then you go down the glistening, and he's clearly being enlightened by the sun, and his thick head on his cock is so beautiful and juicy, and he's got low-hanging balls. He also got really nice quads, and he just looks happy and in the sun, and I love sunlight and the power of the sun. So I'm going with him. His nipples are gorgeous too.
Love it.
Nice hair on his chest, very minimal. I love it. He gets my vote of the week. What are the people saying, and who else are we voting for?
They have not responded.
Okay.
El Ray says he loves Blake, number 1. And now he just put Juice Poppy is his favorite as well.
Oh, okay. I love that. Well, thanks for playing. We put this in TAGSPodcast.com. You guys can vote to talk back at us too. By the way, our Instagram is back. We are no longer hacked. You can DM us and it will never happen again, I promise. So thank you guys for supporting us at Tags Podcast. We have an after show this week. I'm doing it solo this week. It's coming out Friday. You can get it at patreon.com/Tags Podcast. I'm giving Kodi a break because he works so hard and he has a busy week.
Yeah, this weekend is crazy.
Check out our after show. Is out this Friday. And don't forget, once again, to vote for us at cybersocketawards.com for Best Sex Podcast by May 5th. And you can follow Kodi. He's a life coach at KMD Coaching, or Mr. Maurice for his personal account. Thanks, Kodi. So much fun. Thanks, guys. Hi, Silas, for joining us late. And for all of you guys joining us live, it's been so much fun. And in the meantime, continue having hot, gay sex.